The space station was enormous. Captain Dahan looked out the window of his shuttle and felt very small. The station orbited a purple planet called Volthura 9, and it was the meeting place for hundreds of alien species. Today was important. Today, Earth would ask to join the Galactic Coalition. Day adjusted his uniform and looked at his crew. Pilot Hannah Kim sat in the front, her hands steady on the controls. Science Officer Jin Park checked his tablet for the 100th time. Medical Officer Yuna Lee smiled at him, trying to hide her nervousness. "We're almost there, Captain," Hannah said. The shuttle docked with a soft thump. The doors opened, and they stepped into a world unlike anything on Earth. The station's main hall was massive. The ceiling stretched so high that they couldn't see the top. Everywhere he looked, there were aliens. Some walked on 2 legs, some on 4, some on 6. Some floated in the air. Some were covered in fur, others in scales, and some seemed to be made of living metal, and they were all staring at the humans. A creature approached them. It stood 12 feet tall, with thick scales that looked like armor. Its eyes were yellow, and its mouth was full of sharp teeth. Day recognized the species from his research. This was a Vexorian, one of the galaxy's most feared warrior races. "So these are the humans," the Vexorian said. His voice was deep and rumbling. "You are very small." Day stood up straight. He was 5 feet and 10 inches tall, which was average for a human man. But next to this alien, he felt like a child. "I am Captain Dahan of Earth," he said. "We are here for the summit." The Vexorian laughed. It was not a friendly sound. "I am Grekthor, War Chief of the Vexorian Empire. Tell me, little human, how did your species survive on your planet? You have no claws, no armor, no venom. You look like food." Other aliens gathered around them. A bird-like creature with bright blue feathers flew down and landed nearby. Its talons clicked on the metal floor, each claw as long as Day's hand. "Food indeed," the bird creature said. "I am Tralis of the Quilixian Merchant Guild. We have species on our world larger than you. They are prey animals. Surely you cannot expect us to accept a prey species into the coalition." Day kept his face calm, but inside, he was angry. His crew moved closer to him. Jin's jaw was tight. Yuna's hands were clenched into fists. Hannah looked ready to say something rude. "We are not prey," they said quietly. "We are survivors. And if you review our application, you'll see that we have much to offer." "Survivors?" Grekthor bent down until his face was level with Day's. His breath smelled like raw meat. "What could you possibly survive on your weak little world?" "Our world is not weak," Jin spoke up. "Earth has many predators. Large predators. Dangerous predators." A slug-like creature oozed forward. Its body left a trail of slime on the floor. "If your world has predators," it said in a gurgling voice, "then how do you still exist? You have no natural defenses." Day smiled. "We used our minds. We learned to think, to plan, to work together. We didn't just survive the predators on our world. We lived alongside them. We studied them. Some of them we even domesticated." The aliens went silent. Then they started laughing. "Domesticated predators?" Grekthor roared with laughter. "That is impossible. No species in the galaxy keeps predators as companions." "We do," Yuna said firmly. "Many humans have predators living in their homes." Trillax flapped his wings. "Impossible. You must mean small creatures. Harmless things. Every species has those." "Not harmless," they said. "Our companions are descendants of apex predators. We live with them, raise our children with them, consider them part of our families." The aliens looked at each other. Some were still laughing. Others looked confused. A voice spoke from above. "Humans of Earth, Please approach the council platform. The crowd parted. At the end of the hall, there was a raised platform where 7 aliens sat. These were the council members, the leaders of the Galactic Coalition. Day and his crew walked forward. The aliens on both sides whispered and pointed at them. The council leader was a being made of what looked like living crystal. Light moved through its body in patterns. "Welcome to the Coalition Summit," the crystal being said. "We have reviewed your application. We have questions." For the next 2 hours, Day answered questions. He talked about Earth's technology, its resources, its people. The council members listened, but they didn't seem impressed. They kept asking about Earth's defenses, its military strength, its weapons. Finally, Grector stood up from where he had been watching. "Council, I request to speak." "Speak, War Chief," the crystal being said. "These humans claim they domesticate predators," Grector said. "They claim their world is dangerous. But look at them. They are small, weak, soft. I do not believe them. I think they exaggerate to seem important." "We don't exaggerate," they said. "Prove it," Grector challenged. "The summit lasts 1 week. Bring one of these domesticated predators here. Let us see this impossible thing you claim." Day looked at his crew. Hannah raised her eyebrows. Jin shook his head slightly. Yuna just shrugged. "Very well," they said. "I accept your challenge. I will bring my companion here." The council members leaned forward. "This is acceptable," the crystal being said. "We will allow your companion to board the station. However, it must follow all station rules. If it causes harm, you will be held responsible." "He won't cause harm," they said. "Not unless threatened?" Trillax asked. "Your predator is male?" "Yes," they said. "His name is Thunder." The aliens laughed again. Even some of the council members seemed amused. "Thunder," Grector repeated. "A dramatic name for what I'm sure is a tiny creature." "Very well, human. Bring your Thunder to the station. We could all use some entertainment." The meeting ended. As Day and his crew walked back to their quarters, Jin pulled out his communicator. "I'll send a message to Earth," he said. "They can have Thunder here in 3 days." "Do you think this is a good idea?" Hannah asked. "They're setting us up to fail." "Maybe," they said. "Or maybe they need to see what Earth is really like. Thunder will show them." "He's just a dog," Yuna said. "A very good dog, but still. These aliens are expecting something huge and scary." Day smiled. "Thunder is scary. They just don't know it yet. They think size equals strength. They're about to learn that Earth's predators don't follow their rules." They reached their quarters and went inside. Through the window, they could see dozens of alien ships coming and going from the station. The galaxy was so big, and humans were so new to it. But he wasn't worried. In 3 days, Thunder would arrive. And then these laughing aliens would understand. Earth didn't produce the biggest predators. Earth produced the smartest ones. And humans had learned from the best teachers in the universe. The predators they called family. Day sent one message to Earth. Send Thunder. Send his gear. And send the files. All of them. These aliens need an education. He looked out at the stars and waited. 3 days passed slowly on the station. Word had spread about the humans and their domesticated predator. Everywhere Day went, aliens stopped in to ask questions. Most of them were laughing. Some made jokes. A few seemed genuinely curious. Grector was the worst. Every time he saw Day, he made comments about how small humans were, how weak they looked, how their pet was probably the size of his finger. But today was the day. The transport ship from Earth had arrived. Day stood in the cargo bay with his crew. Behind them stood dozens of aliens who had come to watch. News stations from across the galaxy, had sent reporters. Everyone wanted to see the human's impossible pet. "This is going to be interesting," Hada said quietly. "Or embarrassing," Jin muttered. "They're expecting a monster." 2 more humans walked into the cargo bay. They smiled when he saw them. Security Officer Techo carried a large bag over his shoulder. Linguist Jia Song held a datapad and several storage drives. "Captain," Tay said, setting down the bag, "we brought everything you asked for." "And I brought the files," Jia said. "Complete information about Earth's ecosystems, predators, and evolutionary history. Though I'm not sure they'll believe any of it." "They will," they said. "After they meet Thunder." The crowd behind them was getting bigger. Grector pushed his way to the front, his massive body making other aliens move aside. "Where's this great predator?" he called out. "I've been waiting 3 days to see what has the humans so proud." "He's coming," they said. A speaker crackled to life. "Transport vessel from Earth. You are cleared for docking. Bay doors opening." The massive doors at the end of the cargo bay began to slide open. Through the opening, everyone could see the black of space and the stars beyond. A small ship came into view, moving carefully through the opening. It landed with a soft hiss. The crowd went silent. Even the reporters stopped talking. The ship's door opened. A ramp extended to the floor dot, and Thunder walked out. He was a German shepherd, 85 pounds of muscle and fur. His coat was black and tan, thick and healthy. His ears stood up straight, alert. His eyes scanned the room, taking in every alien, every sound, every smell. The silence lasted for 3 seconds. Then the aliens started laughing again. "That?" Grector pointed at Thunder. "That is your predator?" "It's tiny. I've seen cargo containers bigger than that." Trillax flew overhead, circling Thunder. "It has fur, like a cold-weather herbivore." "Where are its claws? Where's its armor?" The slug creature oozed closer. "It barely reaches your knee, human." "Surely this is a joke." "Where's the real predator?" Thunder stood still, his eyes following the slug creature. His body was relaxed, but Day noticed something the aliens didn't. Thunder's weight was balanced. His muscles were coiled. He was ready to move. Day walked down the ramp and knelt beside Thunder. "Hey, boy," he said in Korean. "Good trip." Thunder's tail wagged once. His eyes moved from Day to the aliens and back to Day. He was waiting for instructions. "These aliens think you're harmless," Day said, still speaking Korean. He scratched behind Thunder's ears. "Let's let them believe that." For now, he stood up and faced the crowd. "This is Thunder. He's a German shepherd, one of the most popular companion animals on Earth. He's 3 years old. He weighs 85 pounds. 85 pounds? Grector laughed harder. "I weigh 600. This creature is nothing." "He's everything," they said quietly. "But you can't see it yet." Yuna brought over a bowl of water and set it down. Thunder looked at Day, who nodded. Thunder walked to the bowl and drank. The aliens watched, some still laughing, some just confused. "It drinks water like any animal," Trillax said. "What makes it special?" "Watch him," Jin said. "Really watch." Thunder finished drinking and sat down next to Day. To the aliens, he looked calm, almost lazy. But Tay and Jia saw what Day's crew saw. Thunder's eyes never stopped moving. They tracked every alien in the room. His nose was working constantly, sorting through thousands of scents. His ears swiveled, catching every sound. When a door opened at the far end of the bay, Thunder's head turned toward it instantly, faster than most aliens could react. "He's analyzing," Jia said to an alien reporter nearby. "Every moment, he's gathering information. That's what predators do." The reporter, a small green creature with 4 arms, tilted its head. "Analyzing what?" Threats. Escape routes. Weak points, Gia said. He's deciding which of you he could take down if he needed to. The reporter laughed nervously and moved back a step. That evening, the council held a dinner for all the summit attendees. Day was allowed to bring Thunder, as long as the dog stayed by his side. The dining hall was huge, with tables arranged in a circle. Hundreds of aliens ate and talked and laughed. Day sat at a table with his crew. Thunder lay at his feet quiet and still, but his eyes never stopped moving. A Colexian diplomat at the next table pointed at Thunder. Does it do tricks? Most companion animals do tricks. He's trained, Day said, but he's not a circus animal. Show us something, the diplomat said. Make it entertaining. Day sighed. He pulled a small ball from his pocket and held it up. Thunder's eyes locked onto it. Day threw the ball across the room. Thunder was moving before the ball left Day's hand. He ran across the dining hall in 4 seconds, caught the ball in midair, and brought it back to Day. The aliens clapped politely. They still didn't understand, but then Grector stood up. He had drunk too much of the station's strong ale. He walked over to Day's table, swaying slightly. Let me see this predator up close, he said. He reached down toward Thunder without asking permission. Thunder's reaction was instant. His lips pulled back, showing teeth that looked very white and very sharp. A sound came from his throat, low and deep and wrong. It was a growl, a sound that spoke of violence and death. Grector jerked his hand back. His eyes went wide. For just a moment, his body had reacted with pure instinct. Fear. The dining hall went quiet. Every alien was watching. Why did you do that? Grector demanded. I was only going to touch it. You didn't ask, Day said calmly. Thunder doesn't like being touched by strangers, especially when they loom over him like a threat. I'm not afraid of your pet, Grector said, but his voice wasn't as confident as before. You should be, Hana said. He was being polite. He could have done more than growl. Polite? Trillax had flown over to watch. That was polite? Thunder gave a warning, Yuna explained. That's what dogs do when they feel threatened, but don't want to fight. If Grector had kept reaching, Thunder would have bitten, and he wouldn't have let go. Bitten? The slug creature made a gurgling sound. With those tiny teeth? Jin pulled up something on his tablet and showed it to the nearest aliens. German shepherds have a bite force of 238 pounds per square inch. Their jaws are designed to hold on to prey much larger than themselves. Once they bite, they don't release until their target stops moving or their human tells them to let go. The aliens looked at the information. Then they looked at Thunder, who was now calm again, lying at Day's feet with his head on his paws. He looked harmless. But now some of the aliens weren't so sure. It's still small, Grector said, but he didn't sound as confident as before. Size isn't everything, Day said. On Earth, we learned that a long time ago. The dinner continued, but the mood had changed. Aliens kept glancing at Thunder. Some moved their seats further away. The reporters filmed everything late that night. Back in their quarters, Tay opened the bag he had brought and started pulling out equipment. There was Thunder's tactical collar, his protective vest, his training equipment. Do you really think they'll want to see him in action? Tay asked. They will, Day said. Grector's pride is hurt. He'll want to prove he's stronger than a dog. He'll challenge us somehow. A fight? Yuna looked worried. Thunder's trained, but he's not a weapon. He's family. I know, Day said. He knelt and hugged Thunder, who licked his face. But these aliens need to learn something important. They think power comes from size and strength. They need to see what real predators look like, what evolution on a death world creates. Jia was at her computer, organizing the files from Earth. I have footage of wolves hunting, of dogs in military service, of Earth's ecosystem. Should I prepare a presentation? Yes, they said, because after tomorrow, they're going to have questions. A lot of questions. Thunder yawned, showing all his teeth, and settled down to sleep. He had no idea that he was about to change how the entire galaxy thought about Earth and its people. Tomorrow would be very interesting. The next morning, Day woke up to urgent knocking on his door. When he opened it, Hannah stood there with her tablet. "We have a problem," she said. Day rubbed his eyes. Thunder stood beside him, alert as always. "What kind of problem?" Grector just made a formal announcement. He's challenging Earth to prove its worth. A challenge? Day took the tablet and read. His stomach dropped. The Vexorian war chief had posted a message to the entire station. He claimed that Earth was too weak to join the coalition. He said humans had no strength, no courage, and their so-called domesticated predator was a joke. He demanded a trial by combat. Combat? Yuna appeared in the doorway, still in her sleep clothes. Who does he want to fight? That's the problem, Hannah said. He doesn't want to fight Day. He wants to fight Thunder. The room went silent. He wants to fight my dog, Day said slowly. A warrior who weighs 600 pounds wants to fight an 85-pound dog. It gets worse, Jin said, walking up behind the others. The council is allowing it. They say it's traditional. When a new species wants to join the coalition, they have to prove they're strong enough. Usually they send a warrior. But since humans claim Thunder is a predator from their world, Grector says fighting him counts. Day sat down heavily. Thunder put his head on Day's knee, sensing his human was upset. This is insane, Tay said. Thunder's trained, but not for this. He's a companion animal, not a gladiator. What if we refuse? Yuna asked. Then Earth's application is rejected, Jia said, looking at her datapad. I've been reading the coalition laws all night. If we refuse a formal challenge, we're admitting we're too weak to be members. We'll be banned from applying again for 50 years. Day stroked Thunder's head, thinking. Thunder looked up at him with brown eyes full of trust. This dog had been with him for 3 years. Thunder slept in his bed, played fetch in the park, greeted him at the door every day. He was family. What happens if Thunder loses? Day asked quietly. We go home in shame, Hannah said. Earth becomes a joke in the galaxy. No one will take us seriously. What happens if Thunder wins? Then the council has to review our full application. They have to see us as equals. Day was quiet for a long moment. Then he stood up. Call everyone together. We need to prepare. 2 hours later, Day stood before the council. The crystal being looked down at him. Behind the council, hundreds of aliens watched. Grector stood to one side, his arms crossed, looking confident. Captain Dehan, the crystal being said, Do you accept War Chief Grector's challenge? I have conditions, they said. The council members looked at each other. Conditions? One of them asked. If Thunder wins, you don't just review our application. You watch our files. All of them. Information about Earth, its history, its ecosystem, its people. You see what kind of world produced us. Grector laughed. When I win, none of that will matter. When Thunder wins, they corrected, you'll understand why it matters. The crystal being was silent for a moment. Then it said, Your conditions are accepted. The combat will take place tomorrow in the Grand Arena. War Chief Grector may use standard combat gear. Your animal may use whatever animals use. Just himself, they said. That's all he needs. The crowd whispered and murmured. Grector's laugh boomed through the chamber. This will be over in seconds, the Vexorian said. I've killed creatures 10 times that size. We'll see, they said. Back in their quarters, the crew worked frantically. Tay checked Thunder's collar, making sure it was secure but not too tight. Yuna examined Thunder's paws, his teeth, his body. Everything was healthy. "He's in perfect condition," she said. "But Day, are you sure about this?" "No," Day admitted. "But we don't have a choice. If we back out now, humanity becomes the laughing stock of the galaxy. Every species will see us as weak." Jin was at his computer, pulling up files. "I've been researching Vexorians. They're strong, fast for their size, and their scales are tough. But they have weaknesses. Their joints have less protection. Their eyes are sensitive, and they're used to fighting other large creatures. They've never fought something small and fast." "Thunder's fast," Hana said. "I've seen him chase squirrels in the park. He can hit 40 miles per hour. How fast is that compared to Vexorians?" Tay asked. "They top out at about 25 miles per hour, Jin said. "Thunder is almost twice as fast." Day knelt in front of Thunder and held his face in both hands. "Tomorrow is going to be scary," he said in Korean. "There's going to be a big alien who wants to hurt you. But I need you to do what you're trained to do. Protect. Defend. Show them what you are." Thunder licked Day's face and wagged his tail. He didn't understand the words, but he understood the tone. Something important was happening. His human needed him. That evening, Jia came to Day with her tablet. "I've prepared the presentation. Footage of wolf packs hunting. Videos of military working dogs. Information about Earth's predators. If Thunder wins, I can show the Council everything." "When Thunder wins," Day said. "When?" Jia agreed. "But Day, there's something you should know. I've been monitoring the station's communication networks. Beings from all over the galaxy are watching this. Not just the species at the summit. Everyone. This fight is being broadcast to thousands of worlds. So if we fail, everyone knows," they said. "Yes, but if we win, everyone knows that too. Earth will make an impression, one way or another." That night, Day couldn't sleep. He lay in bed with Thunder beside him, like always. The dog was calm, breathing slowly, completely unaware of what tomorrow would bring. "I'm sorry," Day whispered to Thunder. "I'm sorry I have to put you through this. But you're going to show them. You're going to show them what Earth is made of." Thunder's tail thumped against the bed once, and then he went back to sleep. That morning came too quickly. The crew dressed in their formal uniforms. Tay fitted Thunder with his tactical collar, the one he used for training. It was comfortable, but strong. They walked to the grand arena. It was the largest structure on the station, designed for the Vexorian gladiator games. Thousands of aliens filled the seats, talking and pointing. Every major news network in the galaxy had cameras there. The arena floor was huge, at least 100 feet across. One side had a gate where Grekthor would enter. The other had a smaller gate for Thunder. Day and his crew stood at the small gate. Through the metal bars, they could see the arena. The crowd was massive, a sea of alien faces all looking down at them. "This is it," Hana said. A voice boomed over the speakers. "Citizens of the galaxy, today we witness a challenge of strength. War Chief Grekthor of the Vexorian Empire will face the Earth creature called Thunder." The crowd cheered. Most of them were cheering for Grekthor. Some were laughing. "The rules are simple," the voice continued. "The combat ends when one fighter yields or cannot continue. Death is not required, but it is permitted." Yuna grabbed Day's arm. "Death? They didn't mention death before." "It's fine," Day said, though his heart was racing. "Thunder won't die. And he won't kill. He'll just win." The gate on the far side opened. Grekthor walked out, and the crowd roared. He wore armor on his chest and arms. He carried a large weapon, something between a club and a sword. He raised it to the crowd, and they cheered louder. "And now," the voice said, "the challenger from Earth." The small gate opened. They knelt one last time beside Thunder. "Go get him, boy," they said in Korean. "Make Earth proud." Thunder walked through the gate. The crowd's cheers turned to laughter. Next to Grector, Thunder looked impossibly small. A child next to a giant. Day's crew stood at the gate, watching. They couldn't help Thunder now. He was alone. Thunder walked to the center of the arena. His head was high. His ears were forward. He looked at Grector, and his body lowered slightly, weight balanced, ready to move. Grector looked down at Thunder and laughed. "This is Earth's champion? This tiny creature?" Thunder didn't move. He just watched, waiting. The voice boomed again. "Let the challenge." BEGIN. Grector charged. 600 pounds of muscle and scale, moving fast, his weapon raised. He was going to end this in one strike. Thunder waited and watched. And at the exact right moment, he moved. The galaxy was about to learn what evolution on Earth really meant. Thunder moved like lightning. 1 second he was standing still. The next second he was a blur of black and tan fur. Grector's weapon came down hard, but Thunder wasn't there anymore. The weapon hit the arena floor with a loud crash that echoed through the massive space. The crowd went silent. Thunder circled to Grector's left side, his body low to the ground. His eyes never left the Vexorian. He was moving in a pattern, a hunting pattern that wolves had used for thousands of years. Grector turned, trying to follow Thunder's movement. "Stand still, you coward." But Thunder didn't stand still. He kept moving, kept circling. He was studying Grector, learning his movements, watching for weaknesses. This wasn't a fight to Thunder. This was a hunt. Grector charged again, faster this time. His weapon swept in a wide arc. Thunder jumped, timing it perfectly. The weapon passed underneath him. While he was in the air, Thunder twisted his body and landed behind Grector. Before Grector could turn around, Thunder struck. His jaws closed on the back of Grector's leg, right where the armor didn't protect. 238 pounds per square inch of bite force. Grector roared in pain. Thunder let go immediately and darted away, too fast for Grector's backhand swing. There was blood on the arena floor. Not much, but enough. Thunder had made the first mark. Did you see that? Hannah gripped the gate bars. That was calculated. He went for the exact spot with no armor. "Back hunter tactics," Jin said, his eyes wide. He's treating Grector like prey, taking small bites, wearing him down, staying out of reach. In the stands, aliens were leaning forward. The laughter had stopped. Even the reporters had gone quiet. Grector touched his leg and looked at his hand. It was covered in purple blood. He looked at Thunder with new eyes. This wasn't the easy fight he had expected. "You want to hunt me?" Grector growled. "I am a warrior. I have fought in 100 battles." He charged again, but this time he was limping slightly. The leg bite had hurt him. Thunder saw it. The dog's eyes tracked the injury, the weakness. Grector swung his weapon in a pattern now, trying to catch Thunder no matter which way he moved. But Thunder didn't move like other creatures Grector had fought. Thunder didn't move in straight lines. He feinted left, went right. He dropped low when Grector expected him to jump. He was unpredictable. Thunder darted in again, this time going for Grector's right leg. Same spot, same technique. Another bite, another retreat. More purple blood on the floor. "He's smart," Tay whispered. "He's destroying Grector's mobility, taking away his advantages." Grector was breathing hard now. His charges were slower. Both legs were bleeding. He held his weapon with both hands, turning in circles, trying to keep Thunder in front of him. But Thunder didn't stay in front. He moved to the side, to the back, constantly circling. He was tireless. His tongue hung out slightly, but his eyes were sharp and focused. He could do this all day. The crowd was no longer cheering. They watched in shocked silence. Some aliens were whispering to each other. Others were recording everything. On the far side of the arena, the council members leaned forward in their seats. The crystal being's light pulsed faster than before. Grector swung his weapon again, desperately trying to hit Thunder. But he was tired, injured, and frustrated. His swings were getting wild and uncontrolled. Thunder saw the opening. When Grector's next swing left his side exposed, Thunder rushed in. This time, he didn't go for the legs. He jumped, using his powerful back legs, and his jaws closed on Grector's weapon arm. Grector screamed. Thunder's weight pulled the arm down. The weapon fell from Grector's hand and clattered on the floor. Thunder let go and immediately grabbed the weapon in his jaws, dragging it away from Grector. The crowd gasped. Thunder had just disarmed a Vexorian warrior. Grector stood there, breathing hard, both legs bleeding, his weapon arm marked with tooth wounds. He looked at Thunder, who now stood 10 feet away between Grector and his weapon. "This is impossible," Grector said. "You're just an animal." Thunder's lips pulled back, showing his teeth. The growl that came from his throat was low and dangerous. It wasn't loud, but every being in the arena heard it. It was a sound that said, "I am a predator, and you are prey." Grector tried to rush Thunder with his bare hands. But Thunder was ready. He darted to the side, and then came at Grector from behind. Thunder jumped onto Grector's back, using his momentum and claws to climb. Before Grector could react, Thunder's jaws were on his throat, not biting through, just holding, just pressing. Teeth against scales, right where the armor didn't protect, right where the vital veins were. Grector froze. He could feel Thunder's breath on his neck, could feel those teeth pressed against his throat. One wrong move and Thunder could bite down, could end it. The arena was completely silent. Thousands of aliens held their breath. Grector tried to reach back to grab Thunder, but he couldn't reach. He tried to shake Thunder off, but Thunder's jaws held firm. Not enough pressure to hurt, but enough to control. Finally, Grector did something he had never done in his entire warrior life. He tapped his chest twice. The signal for surrender. "I yield," he said, his voice quiet. "I yield." Thunder didn't move at first. He held the position for 3 more seconds, making sure the surrender was real. Then he released and dropped to the ground, moving away quickly in case Grector changed his mind. The voice over the speakers said, "War Chief Grector has yielded. The Earth creature Thunder is victorious." For a moment, nothing happened. Then the arena erupted. Not in laughter this time. In shocked voices, in disbelief, in fear. They rushed through the gate and ran to Thunder. "Good boy! Good boy!" Thunder's entire demeanor changed instantly. His tail started wagging. He jumped up, putting his paws on Day's chest, licking his face. The deadly hunter from seconds ago was now a happy dog, looking for praise and affection. The contrast shocked the watching aliens even more than the fight had. "Did you see that?" Trillax said to the alien next to him. "It was trying to kill, and now it's happy?" "It wasn't trying to kill," Una said, walking over with a medical kit. "Thunder was taught to subdue and control. If he wanted to kill, Grector would be dead. Thunder could have torn open his throat at any moment." She moved toward Grector, who was sitting on the ground, looking stunned. "May I treat your wounds?" Grector nodded slowly. As Una worked, he looked at Thunder, who was now playing with Day, his tail wagging wildly. "I don't understand," Grector said quietly. "How can something so small be so deadly?" "Because size isn't everything," Una said as she bandaged his leg. Thunder's ancestors were wolves. Wolves hunt prey 3 times their size. They learn to be smart, fast, and strategic. They work together, think ahead, and never give up. And humans domesticated these creatures? Grector asked. How? By being smarter than them, Una said, and by earning their loyalty. Thunder didn't fight you because we forced him to. He fought because they needed him to. Because that's what pack members do for each other. Gia walked to the center of the arena, holding her tablet. Her voice echoed through the space. Honored council and citizens of the galaxy. You asked to see Earth's predators. Thunder is just one example. May I now show you the others? The crystal being's voice rang out. You may proceed. Every screen in the arena came to life. Gia had linked her tablet to the station's display systems. Images filled the screens. Videos played. The aliens saw wolves hunting elk in the snow, working as a coordinated team to bring down prey 5 times their size. They saw lions taking down buffalo. They saw orcas coordinating attacks on seals. They saw humans from thousands of years ago, hunting woolly mammoths with nothing but stone-tipped spears and teamwork. Earth is what we call a death world, Gia explained. Every continent has apex predators. Competition for survival is intense. Species either adapted or died out. New images appeared. Sharks, bears, tigers, eagles, snakes. Humans didn't start as the strongest species on Earth, Gia continued. We were weak. No claws, no armor, no venom. But we had something better. We had intelligence. We learned to think, to plan, to work together. We studied the predators. We learned from them. And then we did something no other species in Earth's history had done. The screen showed new images. Humans living with dogs. Humans riding horses. Humans keeping cats in their homes. We befriended them, Gia said. 30,000 years ago, humans and wolves formed a partnership. The wolves helped us hunt. We gave them food and shelter. Over time, they became dogs. We shaped them, bred them, created hundreds of different types. But they're all still predators at their core. Thunder barked once, as if agreeing. Some aliens in the crowd actually jumped at the sound. Thunder is a family companion, Gia said. There are millions of dogs just like him on Earth. They live in our homes. They sleep in our beds. They play with our children. We love them. She paused, letting that sink in. If that is what we keep as a pet, she said, imagine what we're capable of ourselves. The arena was silent. Every alien was thinking the same thing. If humans could tame creatures like thunder, if they lived alongside predators their entire lives, if they came from a world where everything was trying to kill everything else, what were humans really capable of? The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting 2 hours after the fight. Every member was present. The chamber was packed with representatives from hundreds of worlds. News of the combat had spread across the galaxy faster than light travel. They stood before the council with his crew. Thunder sat beside him, calm and relaxed after his victory. Grector stood to the side, bandaged but able to walk. He kept glancing at Thunder with a mix of respect and confusion. The crystal being spoke first. Captain Dahan, your companion has proven itself in combat. We honor our agreement. You may now present your complete files on Earth. Thank you, they said. He nodded to Gia, who activated her presentation. The screens around the chamber came alive with information. Maps of Earth showing its continents, oceans, and diverse ecosystems. Charts showing temperature ranges from frozen poles to burning deserts. Data on Earth's biodiversity. Earth is classified as a Class 5 death world. Gia began. One of the most dangerous planet types known. High gravity, extreme weather, aggressive ecosystem. The survival rate for most species introduced to Earth would be less than 5%. A Quilixian representative raised a wing. But humans evolved there naturally. Surely they adapted to survive such conditions? Yes, Gia said, but not in the way you might think. Let me show you human evolution. New images appeared. Ancient human ancestors walking on two legs. Humans using stone tools. Humans controlling fire. Humans building shelters. Humans are not the strongest species, Gia explained. A Vexorian is 7 times stronger. Humans are not the fastest. Many of Earth's predators can run twice as fast. Humans have no natural armor, no claws, no venom, no wings. Then how did they survive? Trillax called out. Endurance, Jin spoke up. And intelligence. Humans can run for hours without stopping. They can sweat to cool their bodies, allowing them to chase prey until it collapses from heat exhaustion. They can track animals for days, following tiny clues that other species miss. They can plan, strategize, and adapt. More images flowed across the screens. Humans hunting mastodons in groups. Humans fishing with nets. Humans farming crops. Humans building cities. But the most important human trait, they said, is their ability to form bonds. Not just with other humans. With other species. The screen showed wolves approaching human campfires. Dogs herding sheep. Cats sleeping with children. Horses carrying humans across continents. Birds delivering messages. Even images of humans swimming with dolphins and studying whales. 30,000 years ago, they continued, humans met wolves. These were apex predators, dangerous and wild. Most species would have fought them or run from them. Humans did neither. They offered food. They showed kindness. And slowly, over generations, the wolves changed. They became companions. They became dogs. Thunder's ears perked up at the word, dogs. His tail wagged once. This is impossible, a slug-like delegate said. Predators cannot be domesticated. They are too dangerous, too unpredictable. You just watch Thunder defeat one of the galaxy's finest warriors, Una said. And now look at him. All eyes turned to Thunder. He was sitting peacefully, leaning against Day's leg. His tongue hung out in a happy expression. When a small alien child in the front row waved at him, Thunder's tail wagged in response. That is the secret of humans, Una continued. They can switch between viewing something as a threat and viewing it as family. Thunder is deadly when he needs to be. But he's also gentle, loving, and loyal. Humans taught him both. They raised him with kindness, trained him with patience, and earned his trust. Tay stepped forward with more files. There are over 340 breeds of dogs on Earth. Some are tiny, weighing just 5 pounds. Some are massive, weighing over 200 pounds. Some are bred for protection, like Thunder. Some are bred for herding livestock. Some are bred to pull sleds across frozen wastelands. Some are bred simply to be companions to elderly or disabled humans. 600 million dogs live on Earth, Tay said. Nearly 1 dog for every 15 humans. They are everywhere. In homes, in businesses, in hospitals, in schools. Children grow up with them. Old people die with them by their sides. They are family. A long silence followed. The aliens were processing this information. Finally, Grekthar spoke. Captain Dehan, he said, his voice carrying through the chamber. I want to ask you something. If Thunder is just a companion, just a pet, as you call it, then what do humans use as weapons? They smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. Shall I show you? He nodded to Jin, who pulled up new files. Military footage appeared on the screens. Human soldiers in combat gear. Working dogs taking down armed targets. Special forces operators moving through enemy territory. These are military working dogs, they explained. They're trained specifically for combat and security. They can detect bombs, track enemies, and subdue threats. A single military dog is considered equal in value to 5 human soldiers. The footage showed dogs jumping through windows, attacking armed combatants, protecting their human handlers. The aliens watched in stunned silence. But dogs aren't our weapons, they said. They're our partners. Our real weapons are much more sophisticated. New images appeared. Human aircraft. Human ships. Human orbital platforms. Weapons that could destroy cities, flatten mountains, or sterilize entire planets. Humans have fought wars for their entire history, Jin said. Not because they're naturally violent, but because they're territorial and protective. They develop weapons not just to hunt, but to defend their families, their homes, their ideals. They created explosives that can level buildings, projectile weapons that can kill from miles away, chemical weapons, biological weapons, nuclear weapons, Jin continued. And they've used all of them. On each other. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. Humans fight each other? A delegate asked in disbelief. We used to, they said. For thousands of years, human nations fought for territory, resources, and beliefs. Millions died in wars. But over time, we learned. We created international laws. We formed alliances. We chose cooperation over conflict. It took time, and it wasn't easy, but we did it. Why are you telling us this? The crystal being asked. You make humans sound dangerous. Because we are, they said honestly. We come from a world that tried to kill us every day. We survived by being smarter, tougher, and more adaptable than anything else on our planet. We're not the strongest beings in the galaxy. We're not the fastest or the largest. But we are survivors. And we never give up. He gestured to Thunder. This dog proved that today. He was outsized, outweighed, and facing a trained warrior. But he won because he was smart, fast, and determined. Those are the traits that Earth breeds into all its creatures, including humans. Yuna stepped forward. But here's what you need to understand. Yes, humans are dangerous. Yes, we can fight. But we prefer not to. We prefer to build, to explore, to learn. We prefer to make friends rather than enemies. That's why we're here. Not to threaten you, but to join you. Thunder could have killed War Chief Grector in that arena, Tay added. But he didn't. Because Day taught him control. Taught him that fighting should be the last option, not the first. That's what humans believe. Power should be controlled, not unleashed carelessly. Grector stood up from his seat. The human speaks truth. That creature, that dog, could have torn my throat open. I felt his teeth on my neck. One bite, and I would be dead. But he didn't bite. He just held me there, waiting for me to surrender. That takes more strength than killing. That takes discipline. He walked over to Day and bowed his head slightly. I challenged you because I thought humans were weak. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Day bowed back. You gave Thunder a chance to show what he could do. For that, I thank you. Grector looked down at Thunder. May I? May I touch him now? With your permission? You may, Day said. Grector slowly knelt down, making himself smaller. He held out his hand. Thunder sniffed it carefully, then licked it once. His tail wagged. Grector carefully patted Thunder's head. Remarkable, Grector said quietly. He shows no grudge, no anger. The fight is over, so to him, I am no longer an enemy. That's exactly right, Day said. Dogs live in the present. They don't hold grudges. If you're kind to them now, they'll be kind to you. The crystal being's light pulsed brightly. The Council will now vote on Earth's application to join the Galactic Coalition. The 7 Council members conferred quietly. The chamber held its breath. Finally, the crystal being spoke. The Council has reached a decision. Earth's application is approved. Unanimous vote. Cheers erupted from the human crew. Even some of the alien delegates applauded. However, the crystal being continued. Earth will be classified as a Class 5 death world. Humans will be designated as an apex predator species. All coalition members are advised to treat humans with respect and caution. Furthermore, another council member added, any being wishing to visit Earth must undergo extensive training and safety briefings. Earth's ecosystem is too dangerous for unprepared visitors. Trillax flew up to address the council. I move that we add an additional designation. Any species that keeps apex predators as family companions should be approached with extreme diplomatic care. The motion passed quickly. As the meeting ended, aliens crowded around the humans. Some wanted to see thunder up close. Some wanted to ask questions about Earth. Some just wanted to say hello.